Hey guys, this is Shades here from RVT Entertainment. We're here at Metrocon 2014, and I'm sitting here with the very talented Nolan North. Nolan, how are we doing, sir?
I'm doing great, doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Now, with all the characters you've played over the years, we have to ask about the most popular, most awesome character you've ever done. I have to ask you this. What was it like voicing Deadpool?
Insane, schizophrenic. The best story I can tell you about that is if fans of the game know, and Deadpool himself, there's three voices. There's regular Deadpool who's doing this, and then the more juvenile one, and then the one who's a little more serious and tries to keep them all in balance. And they talk to each other constantly, right? And when we first approached it, we sat down and they thought, well, let's just do all of this guy, and then we'll do all of this guy, and then do all. And I didn't want to do that. And they said, are you sure? Because it's going to be harder. Because if those voices in his head are pinballing around, why not do them vocally? So I'll be honest, we had to do a couple takes in different times where it didn't quite work out. But I just thought it would sound a little more frantic and a little more, just crazed, which is Deadpool, as you know. And on a selfish level, it was way more fun to do that. To go like this. Would you two shut up? Don't tell me to shut up. I think it's fine. Just to go around those and the back and forth. And we color coded the script and did that kind of stuff. But to voice him is, it's like it's free reign for a person to do and say things that they would never do or say. So, you hear that laugh? That's exactly what it's like to voice Deadpool. It's like, yes, it's like, it's like being told one day that pizza and ice cream are actually health food. You just like, yes, I'm going to go get a pie and a sundae.
Exactly.
Is that making any sense? I hope so.
Oh, it makes perfect sense to me. I can see it in my head now. Now, in all seriousness, what's it like going back and seeing all the roles that you've played and, knowing a lot of people hear your voice in so many different, shows and video games? Oh,
it's great. It's really rewarding. We've joked about it before. It's like my job. I get paid to do what I got detention in the 7th grade for. and it's but it's true. And then just anytime you do any business, and people are pat you on the back and say, I really appreciate your hard work and what you've done. Because not all my work is hard work, but what we've done, anytime you get any appreciation, any kind of slap on the back of thanks, it makes it all worthwhile. And especially when you know that you're creating like a voice or a character out of your head, it's kind of like when you're a kid and you draw a picture and you show it to mom and dad and you really hope they like it, and what shitty parent would like rip it up and say start over? I don't know. I'll never make that mistake again. Kidding. But the point is, it's like, it's really rewarding. It feels great that people really like what we do, and I just hope I get to do it for many years to come.
Well, we'd definitely appreciate it if you did. Trust me. Now, you actually got your start in the soap opera Port Charles, if I recall. Does it feel any different working on an on-screen role versus voice acting?
I never treat it differently. I've said this before, and eventually, with enough interviews and panels, I'm going to be, I'll be the old guy with the broken record. But I don't care if it's on stage, in front of a camera, or in front of a microphone. Acting is acting. I get people ask me all the time, like, how do I become a voice actor? It's like, well, be an actor. And if you do voice work as an actor, that's great. Maybe you do stage work. Maybe you're doing television or film work. It's performing, it's just playing make-believe. And the one thing that I think a voiceover, and not everybody can do all those three, not everybody can do any one, or maybe they're just really like this one, but having that really good, vivid imagination, and really, I think it comes from a product of, if you played games, if you've watched a lot of cartoons, if you played a lot of make-believe as a kid, those battles become real, those lightsaber battles I had with my friends in the backyard. They were real until you broke the plastic tubing that was your lightsaber, which happened many times. But yeah, I mean, it's. I think that's the key. It's just tapping into that imagination and really letting yourself go.
Absolutely. Now, of course, You're most well known for the voice of Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series, very popular series there.
Which is a real stretch because it's my voice.
Right?
Yeah, it was one of the easier ones actually.
And it's the one that's gotten you most noticed more than anything else, and to the point where you actually got a role onto one of the Star Trek films.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, I was actually doing some voice work for Super 8, and J.J. Abrams was actually directing the session. It's basically just the extra audio they might need, the extra screams, or
right.
In the movie, there's a couple parts where they're talking to the telephone lineman. Yeah, there's nothing over here. I don't see. All the lines are gone, and like one of the voices would be mine, and there's a group of us doing it. And he found out that I was Nathan Drake in the session. Somebody said something. We're talking to me. He overheard us, and next thing I know, when the session's over, I'm standing there with him, and we're calling his son, and he's leaving him a message, and he's asking me about it, and he's honestly a true fan of the series. And I was doing a cartoon called Young Justice at the time with Bruce Greenwood. Bruce Greenwood played Batman.
Right.
And Bruce Greenwood, if you look him up, if you don't know who it is, he's in everything. I mean, and he was Captain Pike in the first Star Trek. He was, that got hurt and Kirk had to save him.
Right.
I just jokingly told JJ, hey, he said, I owe you one after we did the phone call. He said, I owe you one, man. Thank you so much. And I said, well, throw me on the Enterprise with Greenwood, because I told him that we had worked together. I said, throw me on the Enterprise with him and we're even. And he said, hey, you want to be in the movie? That'd be great. And I looked at him, I said, I'd love to read for it, love to audition. He said, no, we'll find you a spot, it'd be great, a lot of fun. I said, yeah, I'd love to. And I figured he'd forget about it. But about 4 months later, when they were finally getting ready, my agents got a call at the time, and they said, do you know J.J. Abrams? Because he just booked you in a movie. I think it's a mistake. They actually said, should we call back, tell him it's a mistake? Like, are you insane?
Star Trek.
They no longer work for me, actually.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, it was just kind of that mentality. It just was not what I was looking for. But what an experience. I mean, I was there for about 10 days, 12 days, something like that, for one line, which it turned out to be. Now, the secrecy, just being in that, they built a starship. I mean, they built that bridge, and it's like being a kid where your clubhouse or something might be the starship you're pretending to see. You don't have to pretend. If I'm standing at a panel that the camera never sees, moviegoers never saw it, but it really worked. I mean, you could touch things and it would actually make, and like globes were going around, and there's orbits and all kinds of parabolas, and you're like, wow, this is. This costs more than I do. This is amazing. Yeah, it was. Got to meet RoboCop, Peter Weller, and work with him, and had a cigar with him. Not a big cigar smoker, but when Peter Weller offers you one, you take it.
You don't turn down.
You can't turn that down.
No. No. Of course, we're at Metrocon, of course, and with many cons that you've been to over the years. I always ask this: is there any odd or funny con moments that you've had over your many trips?
There was one person who came up, and I met him, taking pictures with him, and he had a really elaborate costume. I'm like, that's amazing. He said, thank you so much, I worked so hard, and he's telling me about it. I said, such detail. And it was an anime character, and I'm not too familiar with anime characters. And after all this work, and he's so nice, and I signed a picture, and we just hung up for a little bit, and got to talk and visit. And I said, wow, what a costume. I said, and who is it? I might as well have told him that his mother was ugly. Oh. He got so angry. He said, what do you mean you don't know? I said, well, I'm not really into anime. He says, everyone knows this. He said, this costume is the most detailed. And he got really upset with me. And, security came over and said, so he's like, and like he ripped up the picture that I was like, I didn't mean to offend you. It was just bizarre. Because it was a great costume. I just didn't happen to know. I mean, it's like if somebody who never saw Star Wars, if you walked up in a Chewbacca suit, they're going to call you Bigfoot. Just the way it is. And I was complimenting it. Just that was a weird one. That's the only incident I've ever had with anybody. And to this day, I feel bad. I guess I should know my characters better. But most people will just say, I'm, this. I had one person dressed as Cowboy Bebop and did. Steve Bloom, who's a friend of mine, did Spike, and somebody came dressed up, and I said, I know Spike, and I tried to call Steve because this person started losing it, because yeah, it's really because Steve Bloom is brilliant. Matter of fact, Steve has a tattoo, and it's the voice sound wave of Spike's last breath in Cowboy Bebop. I guess his last word before he died. He just went bang, and it's like, so if you say bang on a recorder in the lines, bang.
It'll be pretty close.
No, it's it. I mean, he took it, he had it blown up, and they stenciled it. So he has this, which is the coolest tattoo I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's definitely unique.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, one last question for you.
Sure.
I know you can't share all of your upcoming projects because of NDAs and all that, but is there anything else? We know you're playing the Penguin in Batman: Arkham Knight.
Yep.
And is there anything else that we can expect from you as we head towards the future?
Toward the future, the big one that was just announced that I can't talk about is Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 exclusive on the PS4. It's been retooled with Neil Druckmann is now heading up the project, who a bunch of Last of Us fans will know. And we got it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to have some really good stuff for the fans. It's that franchise has just been just a juggernaut for me, and it's been a lot of fun. And what's been most fun for me is just to watch the advancements in the technology.
Right.
My son wasn't old enough to play the first two, but by the time the third one came along, he was right in that, at about 13, 14, where he really started to play it some more. And then he went back and played the others, and he was like, "Oh, the first one's a great game, but it didn't look as good as this one." And when Drake's Fortune came out, that was one of the best looking games made. And then 2, people were like blown away by the power of the PS3. And then 3, it got the full capacity of the PS3. I'm not smart enough to understand this, but whatever they put in a PS4 it's like magic. It's unbelievable what they do, because we've seen some of the renderings. The E3 trailer was a glimpse of what the technology. I mean, you will watch a bead of sweat now drip down someone's face, and it'll look like sweat. I mean, it is not. I mean, things. But before, things, being wet was a difficult thing to. I mean, this machine does that, and so with the technological advancements, and then the brilliant animators and programmers and artists and designers at Naughty Dog, it's going to be special. It really is. I think it's going to be something else.
I know a lot of fans were getting hyped up for Uncharted 4 when that trailer popped, so I
Yeah.
can imagine what it's going to be like from here. But
Yeah. It's going to be. It's always exciting when you get to do something like that. And things that I can't talk about. There are other projects that are going to be pretty exciting. That people are like, oh, that's him. That's cool. I like kind of keeping it quiet now. With Last of Us, people didn't know I was David. A lot of people didn't know I was David until Amy Hennig, who used to be at Naughty Dog, who's a dear friend of mine. She didn't know it was me when they first played the character, and she's worked with me for 9 years. And she was like, that was weird. I mean, just that voice with that character, and people with the Penguin when we first did that, they didn't know it was me. So it's I like trying to find characters now that go away from that kind of that archetype, and that just make something special.
got to mix it up and keep it fresh, definitely. Well, Nolan, thank you so much for joining
bet.
us here today.
Absolutely, thank you.
You guys stay tuned for more here at Metrocon 2014. I'm the Shades, and we'll see you next time. Rock on!
What he said.